Hello all, welcome to today's session. Today we will be studying about the methods of booking and reducing level. Before going to the topic, let us study some terms related to leveling. What is a station? Station is a point where we fix the leveling rod or leveling staff. Or it is a point where we keep the staff for finding the elevation. Or it is the point whose elevation is known and we have to establish that particular point. Such a point is termed as a station, and not that it is not the point where the leveling instrument is set up. Okay, so that is a station. Now coming to the mostly used term, height of instrument. What is height of instrument? Height of instrument, you can refer to this figure. If this is the instrument's line of sight, this is the line of sight for this particular instrument setup, then height of instrument is measured from this line of sight to an assumed datum. And note that it is not the height measured from the ground level to the line of sight. It is the height measured from an assumed datum to the line of sight. So that is height of instrument. Now you can see this figure here, right? There is an instrument which is set up at the middle, and there are 2 points A and B on either side of this particular instrument. Not the point A. Here, point A, it is considered as the starting point. Why? Because here the elevation of the point A is known. If a station's elevation is known, then it is termed as, that particular station is termed, or it is called as the benchmark station. Okay, it is denoted by BM, benchmark, the point whose elevation is known. Then that point will be our starting point while conducting a leveling. Okay. Then if a staff is held at point A whose elevation is known, and we are taking a reading at this point A by keeping that leveling staff, then it is recorded as 6.32 feet. This 6.32 feet will be the backside reading. It is termed as the backside reading. So it is the first sight taken on the rod or leveling staff while a leveling work is started. Okay, so it is the first sight taken. It is termed as the backside. Now, to determine the elevation of this line of sight, what we have to do? Earlier we have described the height of instrument. Height of instrument we will be getting it by adding this benchmark plus this backside. So we are actually adding the backside reading to this elevation of 100 feet. Usually we used to assume 100 or 50 feet as the benchmark reading. It is a random value. So this 100 plus 6.32 will be the elevation of this line of sight. Okay. Then look at point B. Point B is the point whose elevation is unknown. That means you have to determine the elevation or reduce level of this point B. Point B, that is the distance from the datum to this point on the ground. That elevation you have to determine. How you can determine that elevation? You can determine it by finding this foresight reading by holding a leveling staff at point B and looking to that leveling staff through this instrument. You will be getting a height which is termed as the foresight. So it is the sight taken on the leveling staff which is halted at a point of unknown elevation. So it is termed as the foresight reading. 3.10 is the foresight reading here as per the figure. Then how will you find the elevation of the point B? Elevation of the point B will be the height of instrument that you already obtained minus this particular foresight reading, which is the height from this ground to this particular point or line of sight. That value we can minus it from 106.32. That is why foresight is also known as minus sight. So hope you have understood back sight or plus sight and foresight or minus sight. Now coming to two terms, that is one is turning point or change point and another one is intermediate station. To understand both these terms you can refer to this figure. Here this is a leveling, consider this as a leveling work which is done between 2 points marked red here. The red triangle is shown at those 2 points. We have to conduct the leveling work from this left side point to this right side point. Okay. We may not be able to complete the leveling work by placing this instrument at a single point. We may not be able to, will not be able to see this right end point by looking through this telescope. Okay, looking through this leveling instrument, we will not be able to read the values on the leveling staff held at this far end point. So in that case, we will be forced to take the readings, levelings, or you have to record or you have to do the booking by shifting the instrument station and placing the instrument at different points. So more than one instrument station will be required. In that case, you can see this figure. For the first instrument station, you can see some more values, some more staff readings are taken between this back sight and foresight readings. That means the first and last reading in an instrument setup. So all the staff readings that are taken between the first and last reading is termed as the intermediate size. And while we are shifting the instrument to another station, what happens is that to the same station, say the station with reduced level 50.56 is, to this station you have taken the reading from the first instrument and also from the second instrument. For first instrument you are taking the foresight reading and for the next instrument station you are taking the backsight reading. So to the same station you are taking both foresight and backsight reading. Such point or such station is termed as the turning point or change point. Okay. So hope you have understood intermediate station and change point. Now coming to the method of booking and reducing level. Basically there are two methods that are done to find out the RLs of different stations on the ground. First method is height of instrument method. It is otherwise termed as line of collimation method. And the second method is rise and fall method, in which you will be finding out many rise and falls. You will be understanding these terms later. Okay, now let us move on to the first method, that is height of instrument method or line of collimation method. Now coming to this, in this method, as we have earlier discussed in several figures, height of instrument is calculated for each instrument setup by the equation backside plus elevation of the benchmark. Okay. Now, if the height of instrument is known to you and you know the foresight also, then reduce level of another point. Say if it is you have to find out the reduced level of change point, then the reduced level of change point is given by height of instrument minus foresight. Similarly, uh, if intermediate points are taken, the stations where the intermediate sites are taken, that stations also you in that stations also you have to find out the reduced levels. So for finding out the reduced levels of that intermediate points, you can use the equation, same equation, but what is the difference? It is height. The RL is given by the equation height of instrument minus intermediate site instead of this foresight. Okay, that is the difference. Then after doing all these bookings, we will be tabulating all the readings, we will be tabulating all the RL values and all. And after all these bookings, you have to check whether your calculations are correct or not. For that, you have an arithmetic check. You can do an arithmetic check for height of instrument method. For this, arithmetic check is given by sigma backside, that means sum of backside readings, minus sigma foresight, that means sum of foresight readings, is equal to the difference between last RL and first RL. Okay, this is the arithmetic check given for height of instrument in order to check your calculations that you have already done. Okay, so in this method gives a check for all the height of instrument and RL values that you have calculated. Okay, but no checks are done for intermediate sites. Only check is done for height of instrument values and reduced level values. Okay. So this is the theory part for understanding height of instrument. Now you will be clear by doing a numerical. So let us move on to one numerical. By solving this, you will be understanding this height of instrument method. So it is given the following staff readings were observed successively with a level, and this leveling instrument is moved by the third, sixth and eighth readings. So note down, the instrument is shifted at the third, sixth and eighth readings. Okay, and a set of values is given. Then you have to enter this reading in a record book and calculate RL of all these stations. And it is also given the benchmark of first reading is 432.383 meter. So you have hope you have noted down this question. Let us solve this question. So here, as you can see, here all values are given to you, all staff readings are given to you, and you have to enter it into a record book. So while keeping a record book, it should, if you are doing the or you are solving this problem by height of instrument method, the first method, the tabulation will be somewhat like this. It should have 7 columns. Okay, so 7 columns should be there. First column will be for station, for naming the stations. Second one for backside, then intermediate side, then foresight, then height of instrument, then reduced level, and last column is for remarks, to note down whether the station is a change point or not, or something like that. If you have to note down something, you need a remark column also. Now let us start booking. So first, what is given? First, you can see in the question, see here, first 3 set after this 3 set of readings, your instrument is shifted. It is given in the question. So while considering these 3 values, the first one will be essentially your, of course it will be your backside reading, right? And the last reading will be your foresight reading. Of course, it will be like that. And what about this 1.606? It will be your intermediate sight. Is it okay? Then we can mark it here. How you can mark it? You can mark the first value 2.228. You can first point will be your backside. Second point will be your intermediate side. And third point will be your foresight. 0.988. Okay. So after this 3 bookings, the instrument is shifted, and that means this is your change point, and the first point is your benchmark, and whose RL is given to you, that is 432.383. Okay. Now for the second instrument setup, you know the backside is 2.090 and intermediate side is 2.864. You have written this 2.090 and 0.988 in the same line because this station 3 is the change point where both backside reading and foresight reading is taken. Now, for the second instrument setup, what about the last reading? Last reading is, you can see after this 2.864, the last reading is 1.262. Okay, 1.262. Then after this, what happened? Again, the instrument is shifted. So you can write this is the change point. Station 5 is your change point. And so change point will have both backside and foresight, right? Change point will have both backside and foresight. In that case, you can write the next reading, that is 0.602. 0.602 here, and for that only 2 set of reading is taken in that instrument setup. So first reading will be backside and the last reading will be your foresight, which is 1.982. Again, after this instrument is shifted, so here you can write station 6 is your change point. So corresponding to the change point, both backside and foresight readings will be there. So in that case, against this station 6, against this you can write the next backside as 1.044, and the last reading will be your foresight, that is 2.684. This is how you have to do the booking of this particular question. Okay, this is the way. Now you have to find out all the RL and all the HI values. For that, first of all, take the station 1. For the station 1, you know the RL and backside. So RL plus backside will give the height of instrument. For 432.383 plus 2.228 will give the height of instrument. So that value you will be getting it as 434 something, 434.612, 434.612. Okay, so you got the height of instrument here. For all these three set of readings, 2.228, 1.606 and 0.988, height of instrument will be the same. So, because for the same instrument station you have taken all these observation. Okay, then what will be the RLs of 0.2 and 3? You will be getting it by subtracting this height of instrument minus intermediate side and height of instrument minus foci will be giving you a RL values. So you can note down the RL values as 433.006 and 433.624 will be your RL values. Okay. Now you got this, then you can see there is a change point. So what you have to do? You have to add the new RL with the backside to get the new height of instrument. Okay, so for this all these three readings 2.090, 2.864 and 1.262, you are taking the observation from a new instrument station. So for that you have to find out height of instrument. You know the RL of station 3. So for this 433.624 plus backside will give the height of instrument. So here you will be getting it as 435.714. Okay, so again you can repeat the step. This 435.714 minus 2.864 will be giving your new RL, and this 435.714 minus 1.262 will be giving the RL of 0.5. So similarly you can continue the work and you will be getting it like this. Okay, so you can see here, right? You can see the HI for 3 instrument setups. Okay, for 8th change point also you will be getting a new height of instrument. You can note this down. So after completing all these bookings, what you have to do? You have to do the check. That is, what is the arithmetic check? Sum of all backside minus sum of all foci will be giving the giving a value, and it must be equal to the last RL minus first RL. So you need to find out the sum. You will be getting it as 5.964 and also 0.964, and also sum of foci you will be getting it as 6.916. So 5.964 minus 6.916 will be giving minus 0.952, and last RL, that is 431.432 minus first RL, that is 432.384, will be again giving it as negative 0.952. That means the two values are same, so your booking is correct. So this is the way you have to do the height of instrument method. You can solve this particular question using height of instrument method in this way. Okay. Hope you have understood. Thank you for listening.